Welcome back, everybody, to the podcast. Today, we are joined by Atta from Insait. So maybe you can tell me a little bit about yourself and Insait, and we go from there.
Sure. Thanks, Jordan. So, name is Atta. I've been predominantly working with Israeli startups for the last sort of 15 to 20 years, mainly at their growth stages. I've been involved in something that might be relevant to your audiences is a technology called Forta, which had credit card fraud prevention for online retailers, moved into sort of compliance software for call centers, and also another platform that helped customer success managers actually sort of have signals for churn and renewal opportunities. Currently working as a CRO for Insait, been there for nearly 2 years. And what we predominantly do is provide a digital agent for financial services to help with the onboarding, help with loan applications, and also help with the customer journey.
Okay. And what were the insights that sort of led to the creation of Insait?
So good question. So look, our heritage came from a sort of a predictive sort of standpoint where the founder, Devere, recognized and, using his experience with personalization and segmentation at Google and at Facebook, recognized that there was a need for a lot more personalization in the financial institutions and banks. I think all of us had letters and emails asking us for term deposits when we're actually borrowing money, or vice versa. And, being, sort of like getting frustrated with the spray and pray marketing campaigns of banks and financial institutions. And what we developed was a really nice personalization and segmentation tool that actually targeted the right message to the right audience, to the right segment, which hence increased, flow into the financial institutions, mainly banks, onto their website. But what we found, and I think, again, your audience would appreciate that Google and Facebook have convinced everyone that a 2% conversion is fantastic. Mm-hmm. And I think the banks actually sort of recognize that, wow, we're getting a lot more traffic onto our web page, but how do we convert? How do we continue the conversation? So we embedded a digital agent onto our clients' webpage, where basically they can actually not only ask questions, but at the same time fill in an application that doesn't look like, when you press the button, it says apply here and you get this 4-page questionnaire. Our digital agent actually walks through that and actually asks questions, and behind the scenes is populating the sort of the application. But at the same time, as we all know, filling an application is great at the beginning, and then halfway through it, you might want to ask a question like, how can I repay early? If I can break a term deposit or anything like that? And so basically, our agents are able to end up providing sort of both questions and answers, but at the same time be focused on populating the forms.
Okay, got it. And you said that you are mainly dealing with Israeli startups, right? Like, why that particular niche?
Okay, so a couple of niche reasons why I feel like there's a really amazing talent and an amazing amount of technology that comes out of Israel. Happen to be Jewish, it sort of makes sense to sort of be part of that ecosystem. Mm-hmm. I do like what they do in terms of having a lot of data, and I think everyone here knows that there's a lot of data available. Is actually what do you actually do with the data? And Israeli startups really focus on being able to find niche patterns and niche sort of use cases for that data and be able to utilize that data in an efficient way. The ecosystem in Israel is very vibrant, has lots of smart people involved in platforms, and really, probably the help they need is for maybe to sort of like expand their sort of network. And, someone who's been there, done that can actually sort of save them a lot of time and effort in terms of moving to the sort of the growth stage of the business.
Perfect. Okay. And are you guys using AI at all to provide these solutions?
Look, it's interesting because in my intro, I never used the word AI or Gen AI or any of the chat. And the reason why it's very encompassing. I mean, my refrigerator has AI. It doesn't really mean much, right? It's actually what you actually do with the AI that's really more important. And I think a lot of companies get a little bit over their skis and want to sort of change the world by applying AI to everything. Again, that's just sort of like the end result. What we like to do is provide conversions, smooth onboarding, and a great customer experience. Yes, we do use AI, but again, we're much more results driven than actual getting too complicated or too worked up about the AI and the implications of AI.
Okay, I like that. I like that. AI has sort of been a buzzword, and everybody has to have a quote like AI strategy, right? And then just whack AI on the end of something, and then that'll make people happy. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I feel like just in terms of people that you sell to, the minute you mention AI, as you said, they say, hey, we've got a head of AI digital transformation person come in, and then they sort of, their pedigree is, oh wow, okay, I played with Meccano sets in my past, I want to build it myself. And our experience is that it's a very specialized field. There's a lot of large language models to be in play. There's a whole lot of dangers in terms of hallucination of the models, and the update of the model in terms of changing tone, learning from it, which is quite a specialized area. So again, if we sort of look at the end results, which is that conversion, which is that sort of customer experience, customer support, people get the value. They understand that actually, you're effective having your best salesperson who is available 24/7, doesn't get sick, constantly learns, and is able to provide a much better experience for the consumer.
100%. Okay, very nice. And Atta, what struggles or challenges do you feel like you've faced over the last 12 months in growing Insait?
Okay, so probably three main areas. One is that, as you correctly said, there's a lot of noise about AI. So it's actually being able to sort of like stand above that noise and actually articulate a clear point of difference, which we seem to be doing in terms of, being able to onboard banks, financial institutions, support companies. One of Australia's leading sort of brands are all using our services. And really at the end of the day, we sort of like tackling that. The second factor is that we're expanding into the US, which means that, we've got to sort of like start our growth and hiring process, which again has been, like just getting the right fit culturally has been important. Having one or two hires in the US and the bulk of them being overseas makes it a little bit challenging in terms of just getting that sort of right culture and momentum going. And probably the third one really is, for us, it's what I was discussing before, is that when we speak to people, they want to build it themselves, and then they try, come back and go, you know what, we tried, we wasted X amount, hundreds of thousands of dollars, 6 months of time, competition's ahead of us, how can we start? So, we actually probably had that out of the 24 or 25 customers we've signed, I would say that, 35% of them had that story and have actually come back and gone, you know what, we should have listened to you. And it's sometimes very hard to convince. It takes, sometimes you have to go, look, why don't you go and build it and see how you go? And then sort of be there to pick up the pieces.
Right. Okay. And so you mentioned just before that, like a big goal is to expand into the US and grow the team and take over that market. Do you have any other big goals or initiatives for 2025?
Yeah, I mean, as a startup, we're sort of embarking on our Series A. So that's
nice.
Obviously a very big goal for us. We would like to speed up our onboarding process, the sort of the time to value from when the customer signs to when they actually get the product. And probably the third element of that is, being able to overshoot our KPIs and our ROI, and to be able to expand within the organization, expand within the use cases of our digital agent.
Okay. And how are you sort of acquiring clients at the moment? How do people know that you guys exist?
Okay. Well, we definitely have a sort of an outreach sort of efforts in terms of, using Sales Navigator, LinkedIn, all the usual methodology. You're having an SDR who is basically looking at sort of our target audience and being able to target them and to run sequences like most other SaaS companies do. So that's number one. Number two is we're very fortunate enough to have some very good in-tune referral partners that actually can give us some warm introductions. And the third factor is that we work with system integrators, we work with Microsoft, we work with Amazon, who actually provide us with sort of partnership opportunities.
Okay. And have you found that one works better than another, or are you focused on one more than another?
I think at our stage, we really need to get more data points. So we're sort of at that stage where we're sort of still evaluating. I would say that it's, a third outreach, a third partnerships, and a third referrals at this stage. Again, once we expand into America, I would imagine that actual partnerships will be very dominant. And then, probably the fourth one is actually, conference activity and meeting people face to face. I'm actually going to be presenting at the Banking Automation Summit in 2 weeks' time in Nashville. Again, there'll be an audience of bankers looking at their digital transformation, being able to provide them with sort of a clear guidance on what our digital agent can do.
Okay, very cool. So it's a long trip from your side of the world, I guess, but worth it.
Yeah, look, firstly, Nashville's a great location to go to, so I'm really happy and excited about that. Our main focus is the US, so any opportunity to present and to be attending conference is always a good idea. And thirdly, we actually were selected to present. So again, that was sort of a tick for us in terms of our technology providing that value, the audience in terms of the banking CMOs and banking digital transformation people are wanting to see.
Awesome. Okay. And then I guess finally, Atta, if you had a magic wand that you could wave over one big problem and solve it like that, what do you think that big problem would be right now with Insait?
A magic wand. But we've got to do a lot of things concurrently to get the machine going. So we've got the product side, we've got the marketing side, we've got the sales side and the sales execution guide. So I suppose really it's, again, getting some more data points, really focusing in on some of the things that I mentioned before about onboarding to really start to provide that sort of value. So I suppose, the one magic bullet would be to accelerate our growth would be what we'd like to see.
Yeah. For sure. And, most people that I ask that question to, they have a very similar answer, I think. Growth is very important. Well, look, that's kind of does it for time then, Atta. If people want to connect with you or they want to check out Insait, where can they go and how can they connect?
Sure. Well, I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. So definitely can catch me on LinkedIn. Our website, insait.io, is another way. We also have a book a demo on our website that they can actually request a demo, and I'll personally give that demonstration myself. Yeah, that's pretty much the best way.
Perfect. Well, I'll leave links to everything like that in the description. So highly recommend you guys go check out what Insait is doing. Some really cool stuff there. But other than that, thank you very much, Atta, for the time and the insights today. And we'll see you guys in the next video.
Thank you.